Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Greider. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Greider.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'm honored to be connecting in with you in September. It's already September, my goodness. And September is actually one of my favorite times of year. I love the energy of it. I love this shifting that happens in September as we transition and get ready for the fourth quarter and all that that brings. And I love that shifting. It's an opportunity for us to take a breath, check in, evaluate, see as we shift from a summer into the fall, as we shift from that season towards the fourth quarter and all that October, November, and December brings. As we go through all of that shifting, what are we choosing to say yes to? What are we choosing to say no to? What new rhythms and patterns are we building, adding to our plate? And as we're doing all of that, how are we falling into balance? How are we finding that balance? How are we setting ourselves up for success? Are we perhaps trying to fit 36 hours of stuff into a 24-hour space? Because here's something I've learned. Nobody gets extra hours. We all have that same 24-hour window of time each day. And it's important we sleep, eat. There's no teleporting. We need transition times from one place to another. So how are we navigating all of that and the things and patterns that we're adding to our plate? Are we remembering to take things off our plate? Are we making sure to include those things that matter most to us so the balance that we're creating in this season is in alignment with who we are and what we're wanting to bring forward? And some of what we're going to talk about today is balance. How do we find that balance that's supportive of us, that's in alignment? And how we do that, navigate those waters? What tools do we need to have in our toolbox to support us, to find that balance, to build that balance for ourselves? And we have two amazing guests today that are going to help us with this. They're going to help us share and discover and learn how they find balance in all that they do and are building and are bringing forward, and some insights that can help us find our balance and adjust. Because the one thing I have discovered is, for me at least, balance doesn't just magically happen. I've arrived. It's something I get to keep adjusting. I get to keep exploring. I get to keep finding new ways as I evolve and grow and my life shifts and moves and changes. I get to find new ways of what that balance is or means now. And tools in my toolbox that help me do that help me align, that help me check in. So I hope today's show will be supportive of you finding that balance for you, adding some tools to your toolbox so that you are able to find that beautiful, aligned balance that serves you and all that you are called to do and to bring forward in the world. So let's take a breath as we connect in. In through the nose, all the way to your toes, out through your mouth, like through a straw, coming really present, slowing down a moment so you can hear, creating breath and room to be poured into so you can receive, eyes to see, ears to hear, heart to open and receive. The slowing down lowers our stress levels, our cortisol levels, and it creates room in every cell in our body. As we breathe in beautiful oxygen and we breathe out all that is ready to be released. And I encourage you to take a moment and check in. Let's put both hands on our heart. Close our eyes. You're absolutely safe. And as you continue to breathe and you feel that heartbeat, and beat, that pulse. What is it saying to you? What is it that you need today to be encouraged, to be empowered, to find balance? Maybe a reminder. What is it you need today that you are willing to receive? Because you absolutely have choice. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. Receive that information. Let's take a moment. As we come back into the room, eyes open, big breath, fully present. Beautiful. And then take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive. Let's keep it top of mind. Start to bring it forward, co-create it. Have it come out from swirling within us to something we can see and interact with and keep top of mind. So we're actively on the lookout, excited to be surprised at the wonderful way we're supported in whatever it is that we need. We don't have to figure out the how. We get to be open to being surprised, to being supported in a way that we never saw coming. And I'm so honored to have each of you joining us. I know there is something here for you today, and that excites me. The very fact that you are tuning in and listening at this very moment means there is something here for you and something you are bringing to the conversation. So as you lean in, use this time to be poured into, to receive, to be open and supported, heart by heart. Each energy being, as we connect in together, I want you to feel that connection and feel that support. We're going to go around our virtual room, and as we do that, I'm going to have each guest share just what was laid on their heart. Just a 10, 15-second share when they took a moment to stop, pause, breathe, and listen, and see how that adds to what was laid upon your heart. So with that, Julia, I'd love to start with you. What was laid on your heart when you took a moment to stop, pause, and listen?
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Oh, it was just almost as my heartbeat was just thank you. Thank you. So it was a deep feeling of gratitude. I could feel the earth under my feet, and it was just all parts of my being were saying thank you.
I love that. And I'm just holding that energy of thank you and gratitude with you as we echo that out. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Perfect. I love that. And then how about you, Jen? What was laid on your heart?
What was laid on my heart was to continue to share the things that are the toughest. And it's something that continues to come up over and over again. And one of those things is the death of my son. And that by sharing, by being brave enough to share the things that are the toughest parts of ourselves, we have the most valuable connection with other people and ability to help them heal also.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, and that tender space too, and the courage it takes to share those painful things, those hard things that are so part of our heart. But boy, when we are willing to, what an impact it can have, and an opportunity to
Absolutely.
Really connect, because frequently I think when we need people most, when we really need that true honest connection, when everything becomes foggy, and it's in those hard times, and that's when we need that support the most. So I celebrate your courage and your willingness to share that and bring your heart in that way to us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And listeners, how about you? What was laid on your heart when you took a moment to slow down and listen? What bubbled up? Gratitude, connection, even in those hard places, being able to be transparent and share. What was bubbling up for you? And as we get ready to go to our first commercial break, I want to encourage you to stay present. Resist that urge to go cross things off the to-do list. Stay present. This time is for you and is an opportunity to hear, listen, receive, and process on a cellular level. We'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just a moment.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Explore the poetry of Sam Yao. His book of poems, Soul's Journey, is a #1 international bestseller. Sam is a contemporary poet with a unique and highly relatable poetic style to convey the essence of spiritual truths for our time. Readers will find beauty, inspiration, and healing in his words. Get his book, Soul's Journey, today on Amazon.com or visit SamYaoPoetry.com. That's Sam, Y-A-U, Poetry.com.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that opportunity to be still, to receive, to slow down a little bit and really hear what is laid on your heart, what is speaking to you. Sometimes we're moving so fast, we can miss that wisdom, we can miss that voice, that insight that is speaking to us, because sometimes it speaks in a whisper, and we need to slow down to really hear and receive. I encourage you throughout the show, those commercial breaks are built in for you. An opportunity to take in, to digest, process on your cellular level, and really receive everything that's here for you real time. So welcome back. We're talking about falling into balance and how to do that in a way that's in alignment with who we are and how we're made, and some tools that we can add to our toolbox. So I'm very excited to officially introduce our first guest. You got to meet her on a heart level in the opening segment, and she felt this deep gratitude and thank you just really emanating from her heart when we took a moment to check in. Her name is Julia Harriet. She is a builder and survivor, mother of two, and a powerful author. After spending a decade teaching everything from preschool to high school, she followed her heart to build her own home and began a carpentry apprenticeship. She has been working in construction ever since, and she imagines the journey of her life similar to being a project under construction. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Julia Harriet to the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, and everyone out there. It's a delight to be here with you all.
You are welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us, and I'm excited to hear all that you have to share. Especially, I love this view, this perspective that you have about seeing life and journey as kind of that we're under construction. I think sometimes we keep thinking we arrive, or we should have arrived by now. And I love this view that you have of seeing life and your journey as getting to be under construction and evolving and growing. And I'd love for you to share a little bit of why. Why is this work of building things and this view personally so important to you and on such a level that I know you're leaning in to share the wisdom you've learned on so many different levels?
Yes. Well, I do. As a recovering perfectionist, having this reformed view of being under construction is so liberating, Rebecca. So, that's the big piece. And taking a leap from being a professional teacher, that was kind of my pathway. That was what I did in college. And really looking at myself and saying, you know what? I can't build anything. When I started construction, I was honestly, I had no aptitude for building at all. And so I had looked at myself my whole life up to being 35 years old and just said, no, I can't. I shouldn't even try. And it was so wonderful, to say, wait a minute, but my heart wants to build. And if my heart wants to build, there has to be a way. And yes. There was a way. As soon as I got in alignment with my heart song, that it was singing to me a song that didn't make sense. It really didn't at the time of my life, when I had really carved out a route for myself to just go in a completely different direction. So being under construction allowed me to take new risks and to be vulnerable and say, you know what, I don't know how to do this, and I'm going to have to ask a lot of questions.
I love that, and I can hear the freedom and the joy in your voice as you're sharing, what that created. And I love how you honored your heart song and you listened to it and didn't try to make it make sense, but looked at following it anyway and being open to learning and growing and exploring. And I just think that's so powerful. And it's what you've been doing ever since. So I know that took a lot of courage, and it's beautiful to hear the joy in your voice and the freedom to learn and grow and ask questions and be a student and create something. And I'm curious, what was it like when things started to fall into place and you were able to start creating and building things that have that were part of your heart song?
Gosh, it's just been an amazing, first journey. It was like that sacred yes, where you give yourself permission. I mean, that's a big part of being under construction, is saying, you know what, I'm going to give myself permission to learn, permission to not know things and to have to acquire this new learning. And, it was so wonderful. Like the moment I remember I had to cut a board, and my boss, my wonderful boss, Dawn, said, okay, I need it to be, let's just say 23 and 11/8 or 11/18. And I remember not knowing what that meant. And here I had a master's degree in education, and I had to ask, I had to be like, I'm sorry, I need you to show me exactly what that is. And the more that I allowed myself to be vulnerable, right? Put myself outside of the box I had lived in. And it just, it was like my childlike mind just started, going and being just sparked. And learning became so fun when I gave myself permission to not know,
I love that
that's
freedom.
What construction is. Yeah.
So beautiful. Well, speaking of Dawn, we actually have a couple of callers that have called in that would love to ask a question or comment, and Dawn is one of them. So that's beautiful.
That's
I love
fabulous.
that. Are you okay if I bring them on?
Oh, of course. Yes, please.
Great. So we'd love to bring Dawn on. Dawn, your timing is perfect. Welcome. And I'd love to welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
Vashon, Washington.
Okay, beautiful. And didn't know if you had a comment or a share, but we're just thrilled to have you joining us from Washington.
Oh, cool. I just have a question for Julia.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I know her life. I know how hectic it is, and I'm just wondering what her favorite method of coping with life challenges is.
Ooh, that's a lovely question, Don.
Wonderful.
It's great because I am actually sitting out in a little cabin that a dear friend and I built together on my property. And one of the ways that I really calm myself down, that I really bring myself back to center, is making special space, sacred space, and performing rituals out here in my cabin. This is my spot where my whole family knows that when I'm out here, it's my sacred space. And so when I come here, I have crystals and my feathers and all my things that just bring me back to being present and being here, right now, and that are really special to me and remind me that I have this beautiful existence, no matter how my day's going, that look at this beauty that I'm surrounded by and in. So that's one of my strategies, is definitely having this sacred space and taking it.
Yeah, true. Remembering to take it too. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, Dawn. Thank you for calling in. A beautiful question. Great question.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dawn.
you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And then it looks like we have Chad joining us. So Chad, welcome. Love to have you share where you're calling from.
I'm calling from beautiful sunny Vashon as well.
Oh, beautiful. So we've got our group from Washington joining us. I love that. And did you have a question or a comment for us today?
Well, just a quick comment and a question.
Sure.
I've been reading your blog, and I love your stories. It's a wonderful mix of humor and inspiration and things that I've experienced in my life as well, and I love it. And I very much am looking forward to reading Under Construction when it comes out. And my question would be, through these crazy times we're living in, and there's so much negativity, there's also much beauty everywhere as well, but so many people are focusing on all this negative. How do you, how do you see through that? And what are your inspirations? Who are your inspirations to keep so positive and saying, just keep going forward in such a wonderful way? And I had one more question, but I forgot what it was. What are your thoughts on that?
We'll start with that one. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Craig. That's beautiful, and thank you for all of your support. I deeply appreciate it. The first thing that came to mind was my kids. My two children, they show me beauty constantly. In the most unusual places. To be honest, sometimes I'm in moments with them and I'm like, I never would have thought that way or felt that way without their eyes and ears and the way that they see the world and experience it. And so they just, as my most, formidable teacher, it's like I listen to both of them and they always guide me. They're like my barometer of life. And through them, through becoming their mom, I feel like that no matter what is happening in the world, in my little world or the big world, they just inspire me to see, okay, what is the possibility? What's the potential? What's the opportunity? Even in moments of darkness, what is the light in this moment, and how can we name it and go towards it? And so they definitely are, they're my guiding lights, that's for sure.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. And that you have that guiding light that you can tap into and inspire and bring back to center and keep focused on those things that matter most. I think that's really beautiful and powerful. Well, we are getting really close to our next commercial break. I know the time goes so quickly. So if we have time, we'll try to get that second question in. We'll see if we can have our tech team get it so we can get questions answered. But Julia, I wanted to make sure we took a moment to talk about your book because it's coming up, the release of it.
It is.
I'd love for you to share.
Birth is right on its merry way.
Exactly. So can you share the title of your book and when it will be released so we can mark that date on our calendars.
Absolutely. So my story is called Under Construction. And it will be out, it will be born on the 28th of September. So soon in this month. That's like, I haven't even realized it's September yet. It hasn't hit me. Just like the birth of my own kids. It was like, oh, wow, this is happening.
It's happening now. Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, so I love that. So September 28th, under construction. And one of the things that's really special about that date is it's going to be offered for a special rate for the first 24 to 48 hours. We're getting to help share it out. So we're very excited to announce it here and hope that everyone marks that on their calendar. September 28th, it'll be available for a special rate for the first 24 to 48 hours. So it's time sensitive. You want to mark that on your calendar. Lean in, watch for the announcements and posts. Amazon will be one of the places that it'll be released. And as we get ready to go to our commercial break, is there something on your heart that you want to share, either about the book that you're looking forward to bringing forward, like what you hope people will gain from it, and what you hope they'll gain from our time together today?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it took a lot to share this story under construction with the world, because it does contain some of the hardest moments of my life. But the reason why I felt inspired to take that risk and to say, you know what, this story does need to be born, is because every time I share that I've experienced trauma, and I have been from a victim to a survivor to a thriver, and it was with intention. It didn't just happen. And so I share because it's a story where when I do, people say, oh, you know what, because you were brave enough to share what you went through, I feel like I can go get help, or I'm not alone. Or, and then to keep going, to just say, I want to build my dream. So that's what it feels like for me to be here and to share with you, is that I want each person listening, and beyond that, just in the whole universe, to through what I share and my story, feel as though they have permission to go and build their dream, whatever that dream is, and that it's possible. And that even if you don't have anything in place at the time, you can go do it. It will happen if you follow your heart song, if you listen and follow.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, for joining us today, your willingness to bring this powerful book forward and open up your life and your heart and wisdom learned with us. And it gives people courage. It gives them wisdom, insight, and it lets them know they're not alone. So I celebrate that. I'm excited for your book, soon to be released.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And listeners, we're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, I invite you to write September 28th on your calendar as you're watching. And I encourage you to take a couple moments and listen to what your heart song is saying. And we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message. It's time to serve, learn, change the world. Tune in each week for the power of young people to change the world. Hosted by NYLC CEO Amy Mewers. The program is a forum for both young people and the adults who love and support them. We make connections with others through stories of change, partnership, and new perspectives of issues facing the world today. Be sure to join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time, or anytime on demand on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that moment, that opportunity to listen to your heart song and what it may be sharing or singing to you, and taking a moment to take that in and to process and receive. It's amazing the wisdom, the insight that we can learn and hear when we slow down and listen and honor, even if it doesn't all make sense. The slowing down, the listening, the taking that in can make such a difference in the choices that we make. And I love the powerful tips and insights that Julia shared in the previous segment. And I love this, having the sacred space to go to and then choosing to go to it. I thought that was an important additional tip that she added to that. And really appreciate our callers calling in. And Craig, I wanted to make sure I corrected. I'm sorry that I called you Chad. It was Craig. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate you joining in the conversation. And I'm really excited to introduce our next amazing guest as we continue our conversation. And one of the things that we were talking about towards the end of the last segment was about when things are hard. How do we find that center? How do we find purpose and keep a positive outlook? How do we do some of those things? And I'm really excited to have our next amazing guest join us as we continue the conversation and really looking at building balance in our lives. So let me take a moment to introduce Jen Taylor, is a mom of 18, host of At Crossroads. She is a transformational coach for Christian women and motivational speaker, an NLP practitioner, and has 15 plus years experience in the foster care sector as a parent and a trainer. She's a blog writer and a published author, and she is passionate about helping people with their relationships, career, and purpose. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and balanced Jen Taylor to the show. Welcome.
Wow, thank you. It always sounds so great when someone else talks about your list of things. You know, I'm like, wow, that's me. That's awesome.
I love it. I always think, wouldn't it be interesting or wonderful to greet each other that way, like lifting each other up, and that little boost, because we don't see ourselves sometimes. You know, we're in the picture. We can't 100%. See the frame.
Correct.
And
I think it's important. And I actually, I talk a lot about looking backwards, and that's not looking backwards. And usually we think about that in like the traumas or the things that have hurt us in the past. But if we take a look backwards at where we've come from a positive lens, we're really pretty all miraculous. So
yes. Well, I'm thrilled to have you joining us, and we are looking with backwards, forwards, all views and celebrate all that you are and excited for the conversation that we're going to have today. And I'd like to start with why this work of helping people in their relationships, career, purpose. Why is that work personally so important for you?
I've done my podcast for 4.5 years, and inadvertently I've interviewed almost exclusively entrepreneurs. And what's really fascinating about this is that 100% of entrepreneurs, and myself included, and Julia, I mean, what she said also, we take our struggle and we think our avatar is us at our worst moment or the biggest struggle. And our goal is, how can I make it faster, easier, and more supported for someone else? And 100% of entrepreneurs in interviews, that is their goal. Their goal is that their truth is that their business was birthed from their struggles, and their goal is to make it faster, easier, and more supported for others. And so I'm no different in that. My goal in everything that I do is to make it faster, easier, and more supported. And the clients that I work with are me when I was at the worst.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that observation. I agree. I think that's absolutely true in my experience as an entrepreneur and with entrepreneurs, absolutely the case. And I have kind of 2-in-1 question here that I'm feeling that I'd love to ask. And the question that we have next kind of in a list. So listeners, a lot of times we have a list of questions we prepare to ask. And then I'm always open to where the conversation goes and what additional questions or new questions we feel led to talk about or ask. And so the question that I'm seeing on the paper is, what's the number one tip to fall into balance with gratitude? But I want to add to that how you shared in the opening of the show and what you've even touched on a little bit here about how do we do that in those hard moments, in some of those worst moments. How does that come together, or does it?
I'm just going to answer and we'll see if it comes together. I don't know, honestly. The best way that you can start shifting the lens in which you view the world, because we've already mentioned that there's a lot of negativity and we can kind of get overwhelmed and consumed. And quite a bit of it, I think we realize as we become adults, we don't have control over. So, and this world the last 1.5 years, definitely, no one called me and asked me what I thought about anything that's been going on in the last 1.5 years. So I don't have control over it. So the way that we can change the lens in which we view the world is every day you write 3 new things you're grateful for. And I understand, depending on the space you're coming from, it might be that you made your bed. It might be that you woke up. It might be that you showered once this week. I mean, you meet yourself where you're at. That's the biggest thing first, is to be kind, give yourself grace, and meet yourself where you're at. And write down 3 new things every single day. What's really fascinating about this, and the science proves, is that in less than 3 weeks, in less than 21 days, your brain will start to search for the positive in the world. So am I doing something directly to reduce stress or conflict resolution? No. But it is doing something in the fact that your lens is what's changing, so that stress and conflict doesn't look the same to you any longer. And if you have children, I call this high-low. And at the dinner table, we've done this for 25 years now. The kids are allowed to say one low, one thing that wasn't great about their day, because we want to touch base with our kids in a different way than our gratitude journal. And then 3 things, 3 highs, which are positive things. And 1, it gives them the time and the space that they are centered. We allow no technology at our dinner table. And I've been real clear about my kids. When they were little, I had to make myself sit down and give them 30 to 60 minutes. And as they got older, they needed to do the same for me, because life gets busy and hectic. But 3 gratitudes, and you'll notice your kids over time, at short time, they're like, I don't have a low today, but I have more than 3 highs. And that is their brain searching for the positive in the world. So that is how you can start to make a change in how you view the world and in your gratitude. And when it's during tough stuff, and I used the death of my son, I got 23 years with him before he went missing. And he was a missing persons for 4 years, and they found his remains. And those are things to be very, very grateful for. So within a trial and a trauma, there are always silver linings, and it's up to us. If we have the mindset that we are searching for the positive in the world, when things happen that are really traumatic, we are already looking through that lens. It doesn't mean that you're not hurt or sad or angry. If it's rational and warranted, you should have those emotions. It means that, and also, we see the silver lining in those situations. So I guess that's how it's tied in.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you sharing. And there's just a lot of great insight and wisdom, and my heart. I'm just so sorry for the loss of your son, and love that you were able to find a silver lining and things to be positive about on that journey. And a couple of things that I heard you share is the high-low, where building the practice of, saying one thing that was a challenge or a struggle, and then 3 things to be thankful for. So acknowledging, but not getting caught in that negative thing, and then purposely choosing. And in the gratitude journal, I love this, choosing 3 new things every day to be thankful for. And I have a question on that, because I've heard this a couple of different ways with gratitude journals. So for those of you out there who are ready to start a gratitude journal, I want to give a little bit of direction on this. So is it your practice that it's 3 new things and you don't repeat things, or do you repeat things day after day? How does that work for you, and what's your advice and direction around that?
I try really hard not to repeat things, and sometimes that's hard. With high-low at the dinner table, you also have to set guidelines. Like, my kids could never use food as a high or a low.
Smart.
Like, my low is dinner tonight. And I'm like, yeah, now your low is early bedtime. But, so set parameters for sure. With yourself at the gratitude journal, this will take you. And first of all, I don't care if you do it morning or night. Pick a time that it could be in the morning for yesterday, at night. I don't care. I don't care when it is. That doesn't make any difference. People get caught up on the wrong things. Just do it. It should take you less than 2 minutes. It's bullet point. Super fast, and try really hard not to repeat them. Again, give yourself grace and meet yourself where you're at, but try to find 3 new things every day. So I try very hard not to repeat them, or to go larger blocks of time before you repeat the same thing.
Got it. Great. Thank you. I appreciate that, because for those who are looking at it and it's a new thing, it's helpful to have a little bit of direction like that. So that's great. Well, our time is...
I'm telling you to write it down. Write it down.
Yep. Write it down. Not think it. Write it. Beautiful. Well, our time is going really fast, and I wanted to give you an opportunity. Is there one more piece of advice or tip that's come into your heart and spirit for our listeners to take in as you're reflecting on our conversation today about falling into balance?
I think what people need to remember the most is that one way or another, and whether or not you realize it, you are not alone. And just remember that. It may take some effort to see or feel what that means to you, but you are not alone in your struggle.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, listeners, powerful reminder. You are not alone. Whether you are feeling that or not, it's the truth that we are here with you. There are others around that are supporting you, cheering you on, and life is not a solo journey. So allow that support in. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break, and here's a couple of things to look forward to in our next segment. So we're going to make sure each of our amazing guests share their contact information so you can go deeper and have resources that you can connect in with and bring into your life that are available on their sites or through connecting with them. And I want to encourage you to use these next 2 minutes to really feel the connection, feel the support, and perhaps write down a couple of things you are grateful for. And we'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just a moment.
Introducing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Follow the Voice America Empowerment Channel on Twitter. You already know we're full of great ideas, and our hosts have plenty to say. We want to hear from you, too. Be sure to follow us at VA Empowerment and come back every day to see what's next.
You can like and comment on the Voice America Empowerment Channel Facebook page. This is the place to get and share advice from some of the best leaders on the planet. Get started today by searching for Voice America Empowerment or click the like button under the player today.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had an opportunity to pause, breathe, feel that connection. Maybe that's one of the things you were grateful for and you wrote down, or had an opportunity to write one or two things to start that gratitude journal or add to it, so that we're being mindful of what we're looking forward to, what we're giving attention to, the lens is that we are choosing to look through. Can't always control those things around us, but we can choose our focus. We can choose what we bring more in of and what we echo out into the world. Well, it has been an honor and a privilege to have all of you joining us today, and I wanted to make sure I gave each of our guests an opportunity to share the best ways to connect with them and go deeper. I hope that you have been touched and inspired, and I want to encourage you to connect. These are real people that are walking beside you and wanting to support you on your journey, and so I want you to know how to connect and go deeper. So let's start with you, Julia. What's the best way for people to connect in and go deeper?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a handy-dandy little website, juliaharriet.com. And like Craig said, I do blog posts and all sorts of things, but it's my hub. So it's a great way to get in contact with me. I always love to know what people are inspired to build in their lives. So that's beautiful. That's my hub spot.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And then one more time, can you share the title of your book and when it's coming out, just in case anyone missed that?
Oh, absolutely. So it is Under Construction, and that will be out on the 28th of this month of September.
Perfect. 28th of September. I'm so excited. Looking forward to it. I have it circled in orange that on my calendar. So I'm looking forward to the release. Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Julia, for joining us. I so appreciate it. And do you have any final tip or piece of advice that you'd like to have our listeners carry with them?
Yes. The thing that's coming forward to me right now is this piece about it is so great to ask for help. And it's sometimes the hardest part of the whole journey is asking for help, but that is the way forward. That is the way to new learning and new experiences in life and to healing, is saying, hey, you know what? I need some help with this. So that would be my advice, is never be afraid to ask for help.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I love it. And Jen, and Jen, I'd love for you to share, what is the best way for people to connect in with you and go deeper?
momof18.com is the website. And basically it has my email, it has a Google Voice number, and all my social media. So whatever way people prefer to get in touch, it's there. It's on the website at momof18.com. So super easy.
And is it written out 18 or the number 18?
Well, I use the number 18, but I have both. So it doesn't matter how you type it in. It'll all go to the same place. But yeah, I do Mom of 18. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure we're all able to find you. That's perfect. I love that you have both. So whichever way people reach out, they're able to connect. And then you mentioned your book. Do you mind sharing where they can find your book? Is it on your website as well?
Yes. However, that is a freebie that I do. You can buy it at Amazon. And if you want to buy it at Amazon, that's fine. But I offer a free PDF to anybody who wants it. And I also have a free quiz that helps you find your purpose, passion, and drive. So
beautiful.
The quiz I offer free to everyone all the time. But definitely, if your listeners, if anyone wants a copy of my book, then I'm happy to just email them that PDF.
Oh, thank you. That's so generous of you to do that. I appreciate that. I encourage all of you who feel that pull, lean into that amazing opportunity and take the quiz. It's always good to learn about ourselves. So that's brilliant that you have that available as well. And then do you have any quick piece of advice or tip that you want to share with our listeners today?
Actually, it's almost exactly what Julia said. So there must be some theme, because that's the first thing that I felt also. As people, especially women to women, we don't really spend a lot of time uplifting and supporting people. I'm not good at everything. And the things that I'm not good at, I want to find somebody who is. And it does two things. It blesses them because they get to shine. And they're called a resource. It's not a competition. It's just a resource. And people so graciously want to help when you ask. I mean, I have a question already for Julia that I'm going to ask her after the show. So people graciously will want to share themselves with you. We want to shine and be blessed. So ask for help. Those are resources.
Beautiful. Thank you. So that's just a reoccurring theme. Listen to that, listeners. So think of those things that you need help and ask. Let others come alongside you and support you. Thank you for letting us come alongside and support all of you today. I hope that you take a couple minutes at the end of the show and process, receive, write down some things you'd like support and help in. Write down some things you're grateful for and choose the lens as you move back out into the day. Do so mindfully and purposely, because you are a gift. You are absolutely needed in the world exactly as you are. And the biggest difference you can make in the world, the most on purpose, the biggest impact is being willing to share more of who you truly are and bring that to the world and share it out. So wherever you are, whatever you do, I hope this week you choose to bloom where you're planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and I'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.